Welcome to Chapter 8, Section 3, entitled Length in Metric Systems. So, begin with here. So a meter is the basic unit of length in the metric system. The metric system is a decimal system Again, it's a decimal system of weights and measures. And these are the typical metric units for length. A millimeter is about the thickness of a dime. Centimeter is half the width of a penny. A meter is the width of a doorway. And a kilometer is about 6 city blocks. All right, these are the units, and this is the example. So, use metric system units of length. Write the metric unit of length you would use to measure each of the following. All right, width of a classroom. So, the width of a classroom is wider than the width of a doorway, but much less than the length of 6 city blocks. So, the meter is an appropriate unit of measure. For dealing with height, height is a measure of, would be meters, unless you're a young child. All right, the height of a drinking fountain. So the height of a drinking fountain is close to the width of a doorway. So the meter is an appropriate unit of measure. Now, the height, though, of a drinking fountain, I would also say a centimeter is also a good choice. Let's see here, the distance from the east coast to the west coast. The distance from the east coast is much greater or more than 6 city blocks. So the kilometer is an appropriate unit of measure. And we're not talking about from here to across the room. We're talking about here to very, very, very far away. Kilometers are the best choice. All right, let's remember this. 1 centimeter is about the width of your index finger. So you could measure in centimeters about using just your fingers. So a width of a wide tip marker. The width of a wide tip marker is close to I'm going to say twice the width of a penny. All right, so we're talking about a marker. Here's the width of, yeah, that's right. Here's, if this is your tip of your marker, and here's your penny, okay, it's about twice of that. So since we're 1 centimeter, or 1 millimeter is the thickness of a dime, well, then that should be then a millimeter is appropriate unit of measure. All right, write the metric unit of length you would use to measure each of the following. Length of a toothpick. Well, let's compare it to the thickness of a dime. Thickness of a dime, half the width of a penny, width of the door, and a length and 6 city blocks. So if we're dealing with a toothpick, the length of it, well, the length of a toothpick is much greater than the thickness of a dime, but is longer than the width of a centimeter. So centimeters would be the best choice for this. Distance from your home to your school. Well, if you don't live right next to the school, then it is going to be quite far away. It's going to be this 6 city blocks. So kilometers is the best choice for that. Length of a flashlight. Well, the length of a flashlight is longer than a toothpick, length of a toothpick, but compare it to a doorway. Is it at all close to a doorway? It's not, so you're going to say that this is centimeters again. And now lastly, length of a minivan. A minivan, you could lay down in a minivan from head to toe a couple times. And so it's much shorter than a kilometer, but a lot bigger than a centimeter. So we are in between then. So that's going to be in meters. All right. So let's estimate the measure length. To estimate the metric length of a pecan, then measure to find out the actual length. So the length of the pecan appears to be the width of a penny. So the pecan is, all right, width of a penny. If we go back to our table here, a centimeter is half the width of a penny. Therefore, this is the width of a penny. So you're going to measure this at about 2 centimeters. Use a ruler to measure the actual length of the pecan. So right now you should be grabbing a ruler, you should be measuring this, and you will get 3 centimeters. So when you actually measured it, it should be closer to 3 centimeters. All right, take a look at geometry. Estimate the length of a line segment shown below. Then measure to find the actual length. So you're going to look at this in your note-taking guides, and you're just going to go ahead and estimate it, and then you're going to measure it in metric using the metric system to see. So pause the video and give it a try. All right, well, I looked at it and looked at this line and tried comparing it to the pecan from before. And I saw that they were actually quite similar. So it's over the width of a penny. Well, if 1 centimeter is half, I'm going to say that this is a whole penny plus a half, so I'm going to say that it is an estimation or approximately 3 centimeters. Then I'm going to grab my ruler and start with 0 centimeters here and measure to here. And what you'll find out is that it's about 3.5. A more accurate answer would be that it is 3.5 centimeters of length. Okay, so that's it from the note-taking guides for 8.3. Make sure you do the CYUs, which are problems 1 through 6 on pages 434. Good luck.